Hey everybody, you know what time it is. It is Sipping with Sue time. I am Szu-Moy, and if you are joining me for the first time, we are live on Facebook and YouTube chatting with real people doing real things extraordinarily. It has been a minute, and I just wanted to say TGIF, you guys. Happy Friday. It's time to let your hair down. I had a crazy week. I don't know how y'all have done and what you guys have been doing this week, but hopefully it's been something where you can relax for the next couple of days. As it is Sipping with Sue time, I have this fun, just came from Dripping Springs. And so I have this fun artisan lemon or artesian. Do we say artesian or artisan? I'm not really sure. Anyway, lemon, it's vodka infused lemon and lime with lemon and lime zest. So we're gonna make a vodka club with this yummy little thing right here. While we chat with tonight, my special guest is another one of my brother in arms doing fantastic things within the community. So I'd like to please welcome Preston Wall, the president and co-founder of Frontline Heroes Outdoors. Good evening. And you are sideways, my friend.
I know. I'm trying to figure that out. The second that you went live, I went sideways. I don't know if it's something you can do on your end or what, but it's pretty unique. It's pretty cool. I've never actually looked at myself sideways before, so I'm excited about this stream.
I have no idea. I went live, and yes, you did get. Are you on your computer or are you?
I'm on my phone. I'm on my phone.
Okay, so flip your phone.
I'll flip my phone, but then I think we'll see what happens here.
Okay, go again. Now you're upside down. Awesome.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, this is, and now you get like
one more. There we go. Yay!
There we go. Yeah, I don't know. When we were chatting beforehand, I was perfectly fine, and then we went live, and I flip-flopped, man. So
yeah, I told you everything's getting all weird and funky. Again, it's okay. Always a good time sipping with Sue. I'm telling you. So again, if you guys are joining us for the first time, we are live here on YouTube, Facebook, and all that good stuff, chatting with real people doing real things extraordinarily. And by the way, before I forget, if you have not gone over to my YouTube channel, please do subscribe and hit the bell to get all the latest content as soon as it is uploaded. So Preston, PW, Papa Whiskey Wall, what's going down? So you told me you had something fun to drink too. I'm making this vodka club here, and you had a, so for folks that are in other parts of the country or whatever, it is 1,000 degrees here in Texas. It's at least 97. And you told me you had a hot toddy.
I am drinking a hot toddy. If you know anything about Texas, we have allergies everywhere. And the past, call it 4 days, they've just been kicking my hiney. So with that being said, I was like, if I'm going to have a drink, I want it to at least like try to make me pure while, putting toxins in me. So kind of a self-balance there.
So what kind of hot toddy is this?
I am drinking this like lemon herb tea, local honey from Kerrville, nice. Lemon juice, and some Buffalo Trace.
Oh, so, Buffalo Trace, lovely. That's right.
Yeah. So I mean, if it's gonna have bourbon, it's gonna be decent bourbon. It's not my favorite, but it's good. So for sure.
And then, of course, you have lovely honey that's local, just like I have some local, not too far, Dripping Springs vodka. I think Texas has got that vodka down, and it is my clear poison of choice. So.
Yeah, there's plenty of vodka in Texas. That's for sure.
For sure. So, hey, can you give us a little bit of background on yourself so that folks can get acquainted with you?
Sure. I am Preston Wall. I am the president and founder of Frontline Heroes Outdoors. We take military members, veterans, first responders, and their family members on any outdoor adventure they want to go on. When we say outdoors, we literally mean outside of your doorstep. So we don't mean just hunting and fishing, which although those are our primary adventures we go on, we do everything from sport games, concerts. We've done goat yoga. We are actually taking a group of ladies next weekend for a spa day. Basically, our goal is to alleviate the financial burden for those that have served our nation so bravely and just let them go on cool trips and adventures that they don't have to pay for. We've been so fortunate and blessed by a bunch of donors and folks that want to do good. So we're able to execute our mission.
Awesome. And then I know that I met one of your beautiful little daughters. I don't know if you have more than
I
One.
do. I do. So I've been married 13 years. My wife, Nicole, she's an assistant principal at elementary school. And then I have Kinsley, my 10-year-old, Kason, my 8-year-old, and Kerrigan, my 5-year-old. And
Wow.
they're all towheads and hilarious and smart and athletic and just everything a dad could ask for.
Awesome.
And I am from San Antonio originally.
Mhm.
I joined the military in 2005. Um, Moved all over the world. Only was in 4 years. When I got out, I immediately took a job, a civilian job in Miami, where I met my wife at Homestead Air Reserve Base, and then I quickly got transferred to Destin, Florida, at Duke Field, supporting the 7 Special Forces out of there in the Destin area. And then I had the opportunity to come back to San Antonio. So after being gone about 10 years, it was time to come home. And, we've just really, really enjoyed being home in Texas. It's where our family is. And we've just been very, very fortunate to have those that care about us around so much.
Yeah, having family close by is always a blessing. And thank you so much to your wife. I think she's one of the frontline heroes, especially with all of our educational staff and teachers out there, especially right now that school is in full session and full fledged. It's hard.
Yeah. It's
It's
in my
hard in today's world. So thank
it's by
her.
far it's by far I think the most underpaid and underappreciated service out there is being an educator. So um, you know, more power to him. I couldn't do it.
Yeah. I agree. I agree 100%. Okay, so
Sure.
tell us a little bit about Frontline Heroes Outdoors. Like, how did this idea become this amazing nonprofit?
Sure. I am not ashamed to admit that about 3 years ago, I went into counseling. I would just, COVID had really took a toll on everybody worldwide, obviously, and then me personally. I was just, building up a lot of, anxiety, a little bit of anger, and I didn't know what to do and where to turn to. And through counseling, my counselor Allison at the time was like, "Hey, you mentioned that you've done mission work as a kid. As a kid growing up in church, I would go to Mexico and we'd help rebuild houses and put on sport camps and all sorts of fun stuff for underprivileged families there." She said, "Have you thought about giving back here locally in Texas and trying to do something?" And I had never really thought of it, and I had just randomly reached out on this hunting forum. And talked to somebody who mentioned they were going through something. And I said, "Hey, the VA is really helpful. That's not a popular opinion, but they were helpful for me." And so through that, another person saw my comment and said, "Hey, I see you like hunting, and you're decent at talking to people. Would you like to come help us out?" And it was another national nonprofit. And after doing some work for them throughout, a couple of years, excuse me, me and my guys about a little over a year ago said, "Hey, I think that we want to do something here locally where we truly can make an impact." You know, I still work for the military as my day job, so military statistics are on my brain constantly. Out of was it like 1.8 million people in the surrounding area, 550,000 are militarily affiliated. We are Military City, USA.
Yes, we are. Yeah.
Whether it's yourself, your spouse, your brother, your sister, your cousin, whatever it is, somebody is related to the military somehow, some
Mhm.
way. And there's just a lot of goodness to be done here in the local area. That's not to be said that we don't spread throughout Texas. We absolutely do. About 16 minutes ago, I posted a dove hunt that we're putting up in like the Lubbock area in October. We've done stuff in Abilene. We've done stuff up in Northeast Texas. We're doing an alligator hunt over in the Houston area in 2 weeks. Like we're kind of
That's
all over the.
scary. That's
Yeah,
scary.
I think it's kind of cool. I, I'm glad there's a guide going. I'll put it that way, and that we have liability insurance.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but outside of that, what I think the really unique thing about us specifically is that number one, we cater to not only military and veterans, but we also do law enforcement and EMS, fire dogs, first responders. Two, we're very family friendly. If there's a way that we can include spouses and kiddos in trips, we absolutely find ways to do that. And the third and probably like biggest thing I want to hit home is that we're all volunteers. So me as the president, I don't take any form of a salary whatsoever, neither do any of my board members. all of us just have a passion to help, and we want to give back. And what fills our cup is what we do. And although sometimes with any organization there's differences, and you know don't call it arguments, but call it just different discussions, sometimes heartfelt discussions.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, we get to do some really cool stuff. And I'll tell you a quick story. We put on a trophy black buck hunt for an extremely deserving individual. We went through about 75 applicants, and we were just, one of the toughest parts of this job is reading through some of these stories sometimes, and knowing you can't help everybody, right? And knowing that it's kind of on you who you pick. And we ended up picking this gentleman who had been blown up not once but twice in Iraq. Came back home. He was 90% of his body was burnt. And after he got home a couple of years later, his wife was paralyzed, and he now takes care of her. And obviously this story touched us. So we pick him. And then after we picked him, one other submission came in, and it was a lady who said, "Hey, my husband's a veteran, and he's a police officer up in the Waco area. And I think that he really deserves his hunt, and he deserves a break, because recently I've had to quit my job to take care of our 7-year-old daughter who has leukemia." And we immediately got on the phone and said, "Hey, I know we didn't pick him for this." And we shuffled some money around, and we contacted this family and said, "Hey, you're not going on the black buck hunt, but can we put you on a family adventure down in South Texas?" So the wife, daughter, and veteran got to drive down. We took them on a trophy axis hunt. They got to go hog hunting and fishing and hiking, and just had an absolute blast for 3 days straight. And the little girl's name's Emery, and since then I've been wearing her bracelet that says Emery Strong on it. And that was, give or take 2.5 months ago. And they're one of our 5 guests of honor that are going to come down for our banquet at the end of 2 weeks, 2 weeks from tomorrow. So
yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Sure. But at the end of the day, we're not a religious organization, but we definitely think that we're doing God's work. And all that being said, sometimes, as you said, we have discussions and differences, but we're just so blessed to be doing what we do.
Awesome. So the mission of Frontline Heroes Outdoors, it's getting to the heart of getting all types of folks. I mean, what are, like you said just before with that story, I mean, you had submissions come in. Does everybody that I guess is going to look at you guys as an organization to do some events, and their military, their veterans? I mean, how do you shuffle through that? How do people, I guess, get with you guys
Sure.
with the things that you're
Absolutely.
doing? And then what kind of things do you and support?
Yeah, absolutely. So we do a lot of, call it trade shows, road shows, word of mouth. Had I not met y'all's friend, we wouldn't be having this discussion had I not said something about Frontline. So I'm kind of a walking billboard all the time. If I'm not in my day job, I'm always wearing a t-shirt or a tank top or whatever that has Frontline art or hat, just so I can, spread the word. And word of mouth is huge for us. The easiest things for people to do is sign up on our website. It's free of charge, absolutely free if you're a qualified candidate, which is military, veteran, first responder of some sort, or a family member. Spouses, brothers and sisters can sign up too. They just have to say how they're affiliated. And then, for instance, today we put out one event and one trip. And actually, again, we'll talk about the banquet later, but one of them was we had a donor come in and buy a table that wants to give it away to veterans so they can come attend. So what we do is we coincide our Facebook and our social media and our website, and we push them out simultaneously. And the website will push out, if you're a member on the website, which I think we're up to about 1,000 subscribers on the website itself, it goes out to all of the subscribers. And then social media, if you're not subscribed yet, you'll see it on our social media. But the only way to apply for these events is through our website. So you have to go sign up, And it's basically so we can keep in contact with you and have,
Mhm.
a Rolodex of folks that have gone on these adventures and done some cool stuff. But, like I said, the biggest thing is getting on that website and then following us on social media.
Awesome. And then what are the different kinds of, you mentioned a few things. You mentioned an
Sure.
alligator
Sure.
thing. That's scary. A dove hunt. So what are the other things and events that you do
Sure.
throughout any given year?
Yeah.
Or I guess does it matter if something comes up that people are interested in, or how does that work?
Yeah. So we have about 20 what we call mission coordinators. It's our staff. But literally they are out there coordinating the mission. So it's hence the name mission coordinators. And we really rely on them to go seek adventures. But what's really cool is that we empower them and enable them that if they want to go do something personally and they have a passion about it, go do that. And then, we'll put it out to all of our members and say, hey, is anybody else interested in doing this? We have not had a single trip that's failed yet. I'll put it that way. We always have, I would say at least 4 times the amount of people that we can actually take apply. And so, like I said, whether that's the ladies pedicure day that we're doing in 2 weeks, we did a goat yoga session back in, I think, March. We have done horse therapy, which has been really cool. And a lot of hunting, especially in the month of September. Holy moly! September and October, I think we're slated to do about 100 people on dove hunts alone. Tomorrow I'm leaving to do an afternoon dove hunt with 7 veterans, which is going to be really fun. And then we have 2 application processes too. So let's say we have a regular trip, call it a standard, something that's not going to cost us an arm and a leg. It's just a standard shuffle of, hey, I'm Preston, I want to apply for this, here's my contact information. We get it on our website, and once we close that application window, we put it in AI, and AI will generate names, just so keep our integrity and who we're picking. And we will take that list of names and match it up to who's gone on trips recently to make sure that we're not doing repeats.
Okay.
Call it repeat
That's fair.
offenders.
That's fair. Yep, that's fair.
So,
yep.
We don't want Bobby to go on every single trip and Timmy hasn't gone on one, but they both apply for the same amount.
Sure.
And we want to spread the love. So that's process 1, something that's a standard hunt or, ladies trip or, like I said, the banquet tickets, we'll just randomly select those as well. But then you have kind of the more expensive trips that have either been donated at the high end dollar amount, or that we come together and strategically pick, like, hey guys, I think it's time that we select somebody who's what we call an overly deserving member that needs to go out on potentially a life-changing trip for them. So our biggest one that we're doing in October is called the Frontline Heritage Hunt. We're going to do it 1 time a year. And it's actually a trophy red stag hunt. So if you know anything about a red stag, it's almost as big as an elk. It's a huge animal. It's costly, but that's not the point. The point is it's an adventure that individual will probably never get to go on, or potentially never get to go on. And we want to provide that opportunity for them. We had over 100 applicants, and my board and I read through each and every one of them. And we recently have selected somebody who we haven't announced yet. We were going to announce who the winner is at the banquet. But that individual is going to get to go out to a private ranch about an hour from San Antonio, hunt this red stag, and then we're going to do a bunch of really fun stuff on top of that. They get to go like fishing, get to go on a safari style tour of the place. They get to go thermal night hog hunting, just kind of all inclusive. We're going to pay for a chef to come in and make them gourmet food. And it's just going to be something that, my goal in this whole thing is that especially with the higher end hunts is, I have some cool deer behind me, nothing like we're talking about. But I want, let's call it Mike. I want Mike to be able to sit down in his chair when he's 75 years old, have this thing on the wall, and his grandson sits in his lap and says, "Hey, Grandpa, where'd you get that?" And he goes, "There was this awesome organization called Frontline Heroes Outdoors, and they allowed me to go on this trip, and it changed my life." Or it was something that I'll always cherish and remember. And, that's our biggest thing, is just trying to make a difference in people's lives.
Awesome. So I know that you do clearly a lot of outdoorsy activities, but I also remember saying you do concerts too, which is awesome. And so are there any activities that you all don't do? And then also, sidebar of, you mentioned a lot of hunting and guys, and I hear a male presence behind each of these things. And I know you said pedicures for the females, but how many females do you have doing hunting trips and going on some of your outdoor adventures as well?
So I'll dial it back a step. So we have right now we have 4 mission coordinators that are females. And one of our board members is a female, and she's our strategic technical director. So she oversees our website and basically is our cyber attack lady. And she's amazing. Actually, it's wild. Her name's Trisha, and she's been deployed to Poland the past 6 months. And
wow.
yet, while she's been
about to go,
oh, awesome! While she's been there, she has run our website and done everything for us in the G Suite, Drive, everything while she's there. It's phenomenal. She's such an amazing young lady and super intelligent, super proud to have her on the team. But I tell all of the females on our staff, I'm like, hey, I know 2 of you love to hunt, and I know 2 of you love to volunteer. So if there's something that y'all want to do, just let us know. And whether that is hunting, because we do have a female staff member named Pam. Pam loves to hunt. So Pam takes a lot of folks hunting, whether that's male or female or both. And then we have Diana. Diana's doing the pedicure day because she's not an outdoors person, but she loves to give back. And I think I can't say an exact percentage of males versus females in our trips all together. But if I were a guessing man, at least 20 to 25% are females. And that's not necessarily on us. That could be AI for all I know, who's selecting these names. But we're definitely an all-inclusive program that wants to help everybody out. And it's funny sometimes. I'll say in my own stupidity, like, yes, you can invite your spouse too. Please apply. And then I'll have like Rachel apply. Yes, I'd like to bring my spouse. I'm like, oh, didn't even think that Rachel would want to go. I would think that it's Tom that wants to bring Rachel. But it's one of those things that you realize that people have a passion for the outdoors or going and doing really cool stuff. I think the horse therapy has been very therapeutic for both males and females. It's been really good.
Yeah, hunting is too. It's the whole gamut for sure. Especially when we've all served. You know what
Absolutely.
I mean? There's not a day that I try to leave my house and get out to go hike, that's my happy place. So as long as I'm outdoors doing something, I'm happy. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That touches people in a very special way. So what you're doing is fantastic. So is there any activity that y'all don't do?
We haven't really been faced with something that we haven't done. I think we're up to almost any challenge, but truth be told, we need to have somebody in our staff who's passionate about it, because it's going to be hard. Like, it's like, if you don't love what you're doing for work, it's really hard to have a passion about it. I can't imagine a volunteer being voluntold to go do something that they have no passion about. Like,
that's back to the military. Then nobody wants to do that.
True, and this is, like I said, it's a volunteer organization, so I can't force somebody to go do something. I'm very conscious of the fact that we are a volunteer organization. That although I do hold people to certain standards, at the end of the day, they're not mandated to be here. I'm not paying them, so I have to be very cognizant of that. I think the fact that we have a lot of people who do come forth with a lot of really cool ideas is really awesome. And then we've had people that are members that say, hey, have you considered doing blank? And we'll say, well, I don't know why. We had I was randomly talking to one of our big donors, and I just happened to say, I was like, man, it would be so cool if we could take a bunch of people to I'm losing my mind here for a second, but the San Antonio football team, my wife's yelling at me from the other room. I can't hear her. Sorry. Brahmas. Good Lord. The Rocks team. Yeah. The San Antonio Brahmas game. And she was like, well, do you know how much that would cost? And I said, I think I do, and I can get back to you. And she was like, well, we have some really special people in our Rolodex. We can't pay for them to go specifically, but we can donate the money to a nonprofit. And then if you could take this group of people for us, and include them, we'll gladly pay for it. And we're like, oh, absolutely. Like, what does that look like? Well, we didn't realize this at the time, but it was actually 3 World War II veterans. and we got to wheel them out literally onto the field with us. Got to stand on the sidelines, meet all the players, and then we got to go sit in this private suite and just watch these gentlemen have like what I feel like was one of the best times of their life. They just had an absolute blast, and getting to know them and getting to hear their stories was super touching. And come to find out, one of the gentlemen that was an escort of theirs was a Vietnam veteran. And then we looked around and we found out that we had a Desert Storm veteran, and we had 2 Afghanistan veterans, and then me and 2 of my staff were Iraq veterans. And we're like, holy moly, like this is the timeline of war all in one. It was just it was a really, really cool and touching moment. And it was just so happened because somebody had a good idea, and I didn't even think it was a good idea. I was just talking out loud, and somebody said, no, that's something that we can do for y'all. And we're hoping more opportunities present themselves like that. We'd love to take some folks to some Spurs games, and maybe the professional soccer team we have here, or whatever it may be. Concerts. I know you're a music person. I've been a musician since I was 5 years old, and so music's a big thing to me.
Yes.
And I happen to be friends with a bunch of folks in the music industry, and they've just been so gracious and kind, and given us free tickets to shows, and we've gotten to take probably 20 plus people to concerts. One of my close childhood friends is his name is Johnny Hawkins from a band called Nothing More, and last year I want to say it was he just was like, hey, I want to come see the bass. So we took him to Joint Base San Antonio, and then we got to host some military members and veterans at their show, and then I got to go see him last week, and there were some vets there, and his dad's a vet, and it was just really, really cool. And a couple other like hard rock and metal bands, but we haven't really broken into the 2 Chainz, Post Malone era, but maybe we'll get there, and I'm all about it, But with that being said, concerts are something that's really, really cool because music's such a universal language.
Correct. 100%. Nature, music. I mean, you're doing all the great things. So I freaking absolutely love it. And you do have a really super exciting event coming up. And so we were talking a little bit about it. So please tell our folks about your banquet.
Yes,
benefit,
that's correct.
Your benefit banquet that's coming up, and give us all the deets.
Sure. September 28th out at Pedrati's Ranch in Helotes, Texas. It's going to be it's called a Heroes Night to Remember. It starts with coming in and just having a happy hour and having a couple of drinks on us. There will be about 100 prizes up for grabs in that first hour. And then throughout the night, there'll be barbecue dinner. We'll have some guests of honor, but it's going to be really casual. It's not going to be a bunch of speaking. We just want people to come have a good time and, celebrate with us this past year. Chuck Carew of the San Antonio Spurs is going to be our MC. We're really excited about that. Then we're going to have an auction at the end, and we have some pretty amazing stuff that's been donated. We have some high-end rifles and weapons. We've got trips to Italy, Bali. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. And then we've got really, we have a golf trip for a group of 4 to go golf in Vegas. And then it includes staying on the strip too. And we've got high-end jewelry. And then we've got hunting trips out in South Africa, Argentina, and New Zealand. Just a bunch of really fun stuff. And then on top of that, our friends over at Thin Brew Line Coffee, they are donating all the door prizes. So we've got 15 door. Now, granted, there's 500 people, so your chances are 15 of 500. But 15 of these really awesome coffee bags that they're putting together, where it's going to have coffee and merch and all sorts of really cool stuff. But speaking of them, actually, reason I'm so tired right now is I was up at 4. I was up at 4 in the morning, and we went downtown and we served. Frontline provided the pancakes, and Thin Brew Line provided the coffee, and we served the San Antonio Police Department for a couple hours this morning. Just coffee and pancakes, and we streamed the thing on Instagram. It was just a really good time. But finishing up about the banquet, we're gonna have some dancing at the end. We've got the Drew Brown Band. Tickets, they're $100, but $100 enters you not only a chance to win some door prizes, but also to do good with our organization and just showcase what we do. So please feel free to come out. I'm proud to say that we only have about 25 tickets left. So No, that's a good
Almost sold out. Yes, that
almost
is
sold out
awesome.
celebratory moment. Our goal was 400 and we went up to 5. So
Fantastic.
super excited about that. And, I'm super proud of our team and what we put together. And I think it's going to be a fun night. I think we're ready to get there and get it done. It's been a lot of work, but we're excited for sure.
Oh, fabulous. I am so excited. I'm sad that we'll be missing it, but I mean, I am sure that I'm going to um, link up with you on one of these excursions,
Oh, you should definitely.
like goat yoga, or if you
Yeah,
guys do water
shoot me a
sport,
message. Oh yeah, absolutely.
something,
Um,
kayaking, canoeing, whatever.
we
I'm
we've
good.
we have done canoeing. Now I think about it, we've done canoeing. A lot of fishing trips. Fishing trips are really easy because you just show
Hmm.
up, get on a boat, they provide all the gear, and you get to take some fish home. And it's very therapeutic, very relaxing. Um, and most of the time, if you have a guide, you're not gonna not get something. So,
Hmm. Hmm. Fantastic.
um,
Awesome. I love
yeah,
it. I
yes,
love it.
ma'am. That's
So
my dog.
remind
Sorry.
me again, of the date of the benefit.
Sure. September 28th.
Okay.
Pedrati's Ranch. All the information's on our website, frontlineheroesoutdoors.org.
Okay.
Um, feel free to follow us on Facebook, which is just Frontline Heroes Outdoors, or Instagram is frontline.heroes.outdoors.
Awesome. So we'll make sure that after we're done, we'll put everything in the comments so that people can get in touch with you if they have any questions, if they want to get involved, if they want to
Absolutely.
volunteer, any donors or sponsors that are listening, that would be fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll make sure all that information is in the feed. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, thank you so much for coming on and chatting with me. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, you hit it at home. Number one, if you qualify, please go sign up. It's free. We want to help you. We truly have a passion for doing what we do. Two, if you're listening and you have $10 that you want to give every month, there is an opportunity for you to sign up on our website just for a recurring donation of $10 to $100 a month. Or if you have land or know somebody that has land and they want to offer it up for us to go on one of these adventures, please feel free to shoot me a message personally or message us on Frontline Heroes. And we appreciate all of your support.
Awesome. Land and ATVs. That's what I'm talking about. All right.
Amen.
So fabulous. So before I let all of my guests go, I like to do a just for fun speed round. So are you ready?
Sure, ready.
All right. So what is your favorite, Mr. Outdoors Man? What is your favorite outdoor activity?
Oh, deer hunting or pheasant hunting.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I had a pheasant hit my windscreen one time in England when I was stationed there. That was
That's
lovely.
that's wild.
It was.
My
It was like,
my first pheasant ever is sitting up there when I was 12 years old. It's pretty cool.
oh wow, fabulous.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a lot better than it hitting your
true.
vehicle.
I got to eat
So
that one.
there you go. Much better, much better. All right. So favorite live concert that you've attended to date?
Oh, my all-time favorite band is a band called Under Oath. And I was in Cologne, Germany, and they were supposed to play this massive venue, and they had an electric outage. And so they played a pop-up secret show in this bar where probably 1,000 people crammed into a 200-person cap space. Fire codes violated like you wouldn't believe. And it was just phenomenal. Up close, no stage. It was awesome. Slash Garth Brooks live anytime you see him because that man's insane and amazing.
Fabulous, fabulous. Okay, so do you take your bourbon whiskey neat
Mhm.
or with a cube?
Um, when I first taste it, neat. If I'm sipping on a cube,
Okay, okay.
yes, ma'am.
All right. So proudest military moment.
Um, military slash family moment. I was single and young when I was in. I enlisted when I was 17.
Hmm.
Got out when I was 22. And probably when I was stationed in Germany and I had gone to Iraq, and then I got to come home right afterwards. In between deployments, I got to see my mom and my dad. And so, getting off the plane, getting to see mom and dad was really cool for me.
Oh, very cool. So you were in what? Where were you stationed at in Germany?
Ramstein.
Ramstein. And then what year was that? I know
That would
we,
have
we
been,
talked about this.
yeah, that's fine. I'd been the end of '05 to '08.
Oh, five and yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you heard me at one point in time.
Yeah. Yeah. High five virtually or or
Yeah,
heard you on AFN or something
yeah.
like that.
Yeah, AFN was, yeah. So I was at AFN at the time from
Yeah.
'06 to '09. So yeah.
Side note joke for you. There was this big news article that came out last week, and they're like, free NFL football to all military members free of charge this year. And I'm like, oh wow, what's this? Thinking, no, it's AFN. They're just streaming all the games. And I was like, oh, you mean the same thing they've been doing for 30 years? What type of crap is this,
Hey,
NFL?
hey, they're trying to repackage,
That
remarket. You know how it goes.
that's fair. They duped me.
Oh,
Granted, I'm not active
yeah.
duty anymore, but still.
All good, all good. Well,
Yeah.
cheers, Preston. So glad to
Cheers.
have you on. I appreciate all that you're doing with Frontline Heroes Outdoors. For everybody else, have a fantastic weekend and take care. We'll see you guys. I think we'll see you guys live next week, but it's going to be on Sunday and it'll probably be at a weird time because I will try to go ahead and stream from Formula One. So we'll see you there.
See you
Take
there.
care, you guys. Have a great week.